Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are strapping in for what might be one of the most intellectually challenging deep dives we've ever done.
I think so.
We're looking at this really astonishing set of notes from an alleged, and I mean lengthy, interview with, well, the source calls him the devil.
It sounds incredibly dramatic, I know. But we're treating this purely as a kind of manual for self-mastery.
Exactly.
Our mission for you, the learner, is pretty straightforward. We're trying to pull out the secret code, if you will, about how success and failure are actually engineered.
We're just looking at the mechanics here. The impartial systems of control and freedom that this antagonist describes.
And the central claim, the hook, is just massive.
It really is. He claims to control 98% of people.
98.
And he does it by exploiting one simple and apparently easily correctable habit.
So that's what we're here to do. Find out what that habit is, how the whole system works, and I guess most importantly, how to break free.
Okay, let's unpack this.
So first things first, the sources get rid of the classic imagery right away.
No horns, no pitchfork. So what is he then?
He's very clear. He says he has no physical body and even calls a body an encumbrance.
An encumbrance.
Yeah. He defines himself as pure negative energy, and he says he lives in the minds of people who fear him.
Okay, so it's a mental construct.
It's more than that, according to him. He positions himself in the fabric of the universe. He claims to occupy the negative part of every single atom, every unit of energy.
And his opposition, with Earthbound calls God, controls the positive half.
Exactly. It's presented as this fundamental law of polarity, a cosmic balance.
So if he's just energy, how does he actually, physically manifest control over almost everyone?
The mechanism is it's brutal in its simplicity. He calls it occupation of unused space. The idea is that most of the human brain is just sitting there idle.
Right.
And he just moves in. He gets in by sowing these seeds of negative thought. He completely relies on our own mental laziness.
So he can't create anything himself.
No, he can only occupy and exploit what's already there, the fears we already have.
And fear is his favorite tool. The sources list 6 specific fears he uses, like mental handcuffs.
Yeah, the big ones. Poverty, criticism, ill health.
Loss of love, old age, and death.
Right. But he says he focuses his main efforts on just 2.
Which ones?
Poverty and death. He calls them the twin pillars that let him tighten his grip on pretty much everyone.
That makes sense.
And he even admits he can't actually inflict, eternal punishment after death. But he doesn't need to.
The fear that he can is enough.
It's just as potent. It's that fear of the unknown that keeps minds confused and, dormant.
So it sounds like anyone who inspires independence, anyone who tells you to think for yourself, they're his enemy.
Inherently, yeah. He lists people like Socrates, Confucius, Lincoln, anyone who encourages people to take and keep possession of their own minds.
And this is where it gets really weird. There's a financial twist. He names the great Rockefeller fortune as one of his worst enemies. Why? I mean, it's just money, right?
It's about how it's used. The source claims that fortune is used to conquer diseases.
And wipe out slums.
Exactly. So when people are healthier and they have more security, their biggest fears, poverty and ill health, start to shrink.
Which means there's less negative space in the mind for him to occupy.
It shrinks his domain, yeah.
That's a fascinating way to reframe philanthropy. It's like a direct act of mental defense.
It really is.
Okay, now let's get to the most shocking detail, at least for me, about self-control. He claims cigarettes are a greater tool for him than liquor. That seems backwards. I mean, alcoholism is so obviously destructive.
Well, it's not about physical destruction, not primarily. It's about the destruction of willpower.
Okay, explain that.
He says, cigarettes systematically break down your persistence. They destroy endurance, the ability to concentrate.
Ah, so it's slow burn.
It's a slow burn. Liquor, he says, can be a big, spectacular failure, a crash. But cigarettes just erode the mind slowly every single day.
Until it's impossible to apply that definite purpose you need to succeed.
Precisely. And he says, negative habits never come alone. They come in pairs, triplets, and quadruplets.
So once one thing breaks.
Once your persistence is broken by one simple habit, the door is wide open for a whole cascade of other destructive behaviors.
Which brings us to his core weapon. The cleverest trick he uses to trap the 98%. It's not fear itself, but what happens because of it.
The habit of drifting.
The habit of drifting. So what does it actually mean to be a drifter?
A drifter is someone who is basically defined by mental laziness.
Okay.
They let themselves be influenced and controlled by, circumstances outside their own mind. They just accept whatever life throws at them. No protests.
They don't have a big, definite goal.
Not at all. And the source puts it very, very darkly. It says the drifter doesn't know what he wants.
And so he spends all of his time getting just that.
Getting nothing. Exactly. If you're aiming at nothing, you're guaranteed to hit it.
And he says there are two main paths that lead people into this drifting habit.
Right. The first one is physical heredity, inheriting weaknesses. But the one he says is truly dominant is environment and habit.
So establishing negative thought patterns, fear, greed, laziness.
Plain laziness, yeah. And what's really provocative is the source claims this environment is actively, reinforced by our own societal structures.
Yes, and let's be careful here. We're just reporting what's in the text.
Of course.
It explicitly says that parents, school teachers, and religious instructors unknowingly help the adversary create drifters. How?
It's all framed as an issue of promoting dependence over independence.
Okay.
So, for example, the public school system. The source claims it helps by teaching kids almost everything except how to use their own minds and think for themselves.
It's cramming information rather than fostering critical thought.
Yes. The emphasis is on standardization, on compliance, not on originality or self-determination.
And religious instructors.
He says they're crucial because they can break down independent thought by planting the biggest fear of all, the fear of hell, of eternal punishment.
Confusing minds with ideas that can't be proven.
Right. Which keeps the mind busy with fear, so it can't operate with a definite purpose.
And parents complete the cycle by teaching their kids to believe exactly what they do in everything from religion to politics.
It just passes the control down through the generations.
So once this drifting habit is in place, something else takes over to make it permanent.
This is the really mysterious part. It's a law he calls hypnotic rhythm.
It sounds almost mystical.
It does, but the source insists it's a natural law, just like gravity.
So what is it? Can you define it for us?
Hypnotic rhythm is the law of nature that takes any thought, positive or negative, that you repeat over and over again through habit, and it makes it solid. It makes it permanent.
So it's like compounding interest for your thoughts.
That's a perfect way to put it. Or like mental muscle memory that becomes an unbreakable law.
So if I'm constantly thinking lazy, fearful thoughts, this law doesn't judge my thoughts.
Got it all.
It just makes sure that pattern becomes a permanent rhythm of my life.
Precisely. Once the habit becomes a rhythm, nature takes it over. It's not a choice anymore. It becomes part of your psychological makeup.
You're trapped, like a fly in sap, the source says.
And the key insight here is that only people who think accurately and definitively are immune, because they never let those negative seeds get planted long enough to become a rhythm.
So the goal is to stop that rhythm from ever taking hold. And the adversary admits he has to use these pleasant bribes to even get into the mind in the first place.
Yeah, he lists things we all desire: love, sex, money, vanity.
And the main bait he uses to turn people into full-time drifters.
It's flattery.
Flattery, why?
Because it works through vanity and egotism. It's designed to put you off your guard. You tell a woman she's beautiful, a man he's a great tycoon.
And you give them a false sense of security.
Which encourages mental laziness. It leads to drifting.
So flattery is basically mental seduction that leads to complacency.
You've got it.
Okay, let's pivot completely. Let's talk about the defense. The formula for self-determination. This is the crucial part for you, the listener. The sources give 7 principles.
And they have to be applied with absolute definiteness to break the grip of hypnotic rhythm.
Let's go through them. What's number 1?
Number 1 is the foundation: definiteness of purpose.
Knowing exactly what you want.
And, just as important, having a detailed plan to get it. The source claims this is the only form of prayer he's afraid of.
Because it's the polar opposite of drifting.
It's the antidote. And the power isn't even in how good the plan is.
Ooh.
The source says even weak plans, if they're definitely applied, they often succeed. Because the decisiveness itself breaks the rhythm of inaction.
It creates a positive rhythm instead.
Right. If you know what you want, your mind is always occupied with something constructive. There's no unused space for him to get in.
Okay, principle 2. Self-discipline. Mastering your appetites. This is broken down into 3 areas.
Yes. First is mastery over food. And this isn't just about weight, it's about mental clarity.
Auto-intoxication.
Right. It just means a bad diet or overeating burdens your body, and that distracts the mind from clear, accurate thought.
Makes sense.
Right.
Second is sex.
This has to be controlled and and transmuted.
Transmuted.
Yeah. The idea is that great leaders are often highly sexed people, but they channel that powerful energy into constructive things. Overindulgence, on the other hand, destroys willpower and leads straight to drifting.
And the third area of self-discipline.
Managing loosely organized opinions, which basically means talking too much.
Really?
It's fascinating, isn't it? The source warns that talking too much tells the world your plans, which creates enemies, and it's a display of egotism.
And egotism makes you vulnerable.
Very. It feeds the drifting habit by making you feel like you've already succeeded before you've even done the work.
Okay, so principle number 3, learning from adversity. We're so trained to fear failure.
But the source is adamant. Failure is a man-made circumstance. It's not permanent.
And every adversity brings the seed of an equivalent advantage.
Exactly. Failure breaks old habits. It forces you to redirect, and that moment of redirection is your chance to change your hypnotic rhythm for the better.
Number 4 is environmental influence, the law of harmony.
Yes, nature forces you to align with the dominating influence around you. If you're surrounded by drifters, you will start to drift.
So the non-drifter has to consciously create a positive environment.
A mastermind group, the source calls it. You literally program your success by choosing your peer group.
That leads to the 5th principle, time.
Time, the 4th dimension. And it's not neutral here, it's a judge.
How so?
Time is nature's seasoning influence. It's the friend of the non-drifter, but the brutal enemy of the drifter.
Because
Time relentlessly solidifies whatever habits you have. It penalizes negative thoughts by making them permanent, and it rewards positive thoughts by weaving them into your reality.
Okay, number 6 is harmony. How is that different from environmental influence?
Environmental influence is about who you associate with. Harmony is about establishing your own dominating influence.
Ah, I see.
If you don't define your own purpose, you'll just harmonize with the negative rhythm of the crowd. Definiteness of purpose lets you set your own tone.
You become the dominant force.
Right. And finally, number 7, caution.
Fashion.
The lack of it is what pulls drifters into so many avoidable problems. In relationships, in money, in health. The non-drifter plans, checks, and double checks. They take nothing for granted.
Okay, so this formula gives us a really powerful checklist for self-assessment. What are the key signs you can use to spot a drifter in your own life?
You're looking for a total lack of a major purpose. Low enthusiasm, no initiative. Drifters spend everything they earn.
And they often seem sick or ailing.
Because that lack of discipline manifests physically.
Yeah.
And behaviorally, they never make decisions.
Or if they do, they reverse them at the first sign of trouble.
Right. And they'll criticize people who are succeeding. This is the most damning sign, I think. They will work harder to get out of thinking than other people work to actually earn a living.
Wow. And the non-drifter is just the total inverse.
Always engaged in something definite. Always has a clear, organized plan.
They have a major goal. They give you direct answers.
And they're usually what the source calls a go-giver. They give service before they expect to get anything back.
But the single biggest difference?
It's simple. The non-drifter has a mind of his own and uses it for all purposes.
So the core lesson, the whole difference between the 98% and the 2%, it's just exercising your right to think for yourself.
And the adversary himself confirms this. He loses all control the second the interviewer masters this. He says, I am powerless to influence or control you. You have mastered all your fears.
The moment you replace mental laziness with definite, accurate thinking.
The grip of hypnotic rhythm is broken instantly. Hashtag, tag, tag, outro.
We've gone into a very unusual source today,
Mm-hmm.
but the wisdom that comes out of it is pretty profound.
I think so.
Success and failure aren't about luck. They're the daily evolutionary result of your dominating thoughts being woven into reality by this immutable law of hypnotic rhythm.
And if you recognize some of that drifter in yourself, the cure offered in the text is very clear. Wake up and give.
Give what?
Some form of service useful to as many people as possible, and give before you get.
So it's the action of definitive selfless service that breaks the pattern.
It immediately breaks that pattern of mental laziness.
And the source leaves us with a really provocative final thought. It suggests that humans actually have more freedom of choice than the adversary or even his opposition.
Both of whom are bound by these immutable laws of nature.
But you, the listener, you have the ultimate power of free choice over your own dominating thoughts. So the question is, what is the one negative thought habit, self-criticism, procrastination, fear, that you'll consciously stop feeding today to finally break the grip of hypnotic rhythm?